श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। कटाक्षकिरणाचान्तनमन्मोहाब्धये नमः।
कटाक्षकिरणाचान्त नमन्मोहाब्धये नमः।
अनन्तानन्दकृष्णाय जगन्मङ्गलमूर्तये
आनन्दानन्दकृष्णाय जगन्मङ्गलमूर्तये।
Where did we stop in the last class?
Page 7, 9th line. Like how the Shatpadis. We have to start from here.
Okay. Let's read from the beginning of the paragraph to just maintain continuity. Who will read today?
Not me.
Ananta Krishna, you want to read?
Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah, please.
Advaita Makaranda.
Beginning of the paragraph.
Yes, sir. Advaita Makaranda is the title he has given. Therefore, the Vakya Janya Jnanam is Advaita. Advaita means that a second thing is not there. Dvaitam is not there. Where there is no Dvaitam, it means there is only one Vastu without a second. This Advaita Vastu is presented here. Makaranda means fragrance, the fragrance of Advaita, the pollen of Advaita. Advaita Makaranda. Makaranda can also be taken as the honey, the nectar of Advaita. Like how the Satpadis, the bees, just go after nectar. They leave everything else in the flowers, like all the petals, etc., and collect just the nectar. Similarly, here, all the karma pratipadaka vakyas, upasana vakyas, etc., all these things are left behind. Only purely Advaita is taken. Pure Advaita, nectar, you will see that there are no frills here. Just pure Advaita alone. The nectar is picked up by the Satpadi. The Satpadi.
Shat means six. Shatpadi.
Shatpadi. The Shatpadi here is one endowed with 6 pramanas. Every human being is capable of having 6 pramanas and is likened to be a Shatpadi. Those who are endowed with 6 pramanas, like the bees endowed with 6 legs, are the ones who can get this nectar. All 6 pramanas are necessary because the first 5 pramanas, Pratyaksha, Anumana, Upamana, Shabda, Arthapatti, and Anupalabdhi, etc., are helpful in understanding what is unfolded by the 6th pramana, the Sabda pramana. We require the understanding of Advaita unfolded by the Shastra, and understanding without any doubt. Doubt arises because of the buddhi, and the buddhi creates a doubt because of another possibility, and that other possibility has to be negated. When the other possibility is negated, the buddhi has no objection to raise. Therefore, whatever knowledge is unfolded by the Shastra stays abhaditam, unnegated. The abhaditam has to be
Abhaditam
has to be anya pramana abhaditam. Pramana alone can do bhada. Nothing else can. Action cannot do bhada. Bhada means negation, submission. What was included in error is sublated. It is sublated by knowledge. Knowledge means that a pramana is involved. Anything that is wrongly concluded is sublated, negated through pramana alone. Pramana prapta jnanena eva baditam bhavati, like the rope snake.
Bhavati.
Bhavati, like the rope snake. First, there is snake, is the conclusion. Originally, that conclusion was taken to be jnanam only. We thought it was true, but then we discover it is not true because it is subject to negation and it is negated by a pramana. If it is a real snake, it is not going to be a badita. Bada is always by knowledge, and if bada is by knowledge, then previously what was there, what was considered to be knowledge, that is bhadita.
Before we proceed, there is a hand raised, I see. Divyansh.
Swamiji, I had two questions. In the previous page, for the Makaranda, it is said that all the karma pratipadaka vakyas, upasana vakyas are left behind. So are these from the Vedas, Karma Kanda?
Yeah. Essentially, what he's saying is that this text, which is why we call it a Manana text, focuses only on the Advaita knowledge. Now, all that upasana you do, all the karma you do is all preparation. So that this does not address at all. Many of the texts will address that also. In fact, some of the Upanishads also address that. But typically you will see Bhagavad Gita addresses that in great length. This doesn't address that at all.
One more question. In next page, it says that doubt arises because of buddhi and all the other possibilities need to be negated. But like, can't we say that there can be infinite possibilities? Like some people can say the reality could be this, some people can say reality could be this. So how do we like negate all of those?
There will be a lot of this thing. All that it is not infinite. All these contrary views you will find is at least the more logical ones, only a few. You can make vague assertions, but that's not what you're talking about here. What Advaitin now tries to talk about, saying the world is real. Now, for most people, that sounds correct. So this has to negate that. So like that, there'll be a few. There'll be philosophies. There are some people I know who are very fond of European philosophers, Albert Camus, Schrodinger, and people like that. You please understand what they're trying to say, and then question where, if it is matching with what we are saying in Advaita, you have no problem. But if there are differences, try and understand the differences and see where the error could be.
Okay.
See, our fundamental problems are because the errors we make. And from there, all the other things follow. And the error has to do with the assumptions we make about ourselves. So that has to be addressed. Okay? Okay.
The Mahavakya says, I am Brahman, which is non-dual, which alone is the Vastu. This knowledge can be badita, can be negated only when it is proved that I am not non-dual Brahman. That means that one has to prove Dvaitam, duality is Satyam. Duality is in various forms. All the schools of thought are duality only because you cannot have many schools for Advaita. If you say that one school of thought is Advaita, then every other school of thought is other than Advaita, na Advaita, which is Dvaita. No Advaitam is Dvaitam alone. There is no need to negate Advaita to arrive at Dvaita. Advaita means na Dvaita, and it is arrived by negation of Dvaita. So there is no need for another negation, no Advaitam, Anadvaitam iti. Even if such a word is coined by a double negation, it will still mean Dvaitam, because anything other than Advaitam is Dvaitam. In fact, Dvaitam is negated to arrive at Advaitam. Why Dvaitam is negated? Because Dvaitam is already Praptam. It is already obtaining. How is it Praptam? Not by Vichara. Avicharat,
Avicharataha,
Avicharataha
avicharataha praptam.
Praptam.
Hmm.
Dvaitam is Avicharatam alone. It is Avicharataha, Avicharena Praptam. Therefore, Dvaitam is that which is Praptam, obtains in the absence of Vichara. It is already Siddham, Avichara Siddham, and will remain so until it is negated by Vichara.
You can see a couple more hands up. Shubha?
Yeah, I had a question about the two terms, negation and sublation. Is there a difference between them?
No, not really. Only thing is, sublation has a connotation saying that once this is the truth, everything else becomes it becomes meaningless. Negation is perhaps probably stronger.
Okay.
That's all. That's really the only difference. Yes, Divyansh.
Swamiji said that everything other than Advaitam is Dvaitam. But we have something in the middle, which is Tadvaitam.
No,
And
how can you have a middle? If it is not Advaitam, then you can't have middle. Either you have Advaitam means what? That there is only one. Ekam eva Advaitam. But when you say it is not Advaitam, what does that mean? It is not, it has to be more than one. One, multiples of one, millions, it doesn't matter. So if it is not, and why he's also saying that later in the same paragraph, our normal experience for all humanity is that I and non-I is the normal acceptance. This word Jagat I is there and everything else is non-I. So that is already a praptam, already known. So if you want to prove Advaitam, you only have to negate that. So Advaitam itself is negation of Dvaitam is Advaitam. We will talk a lot more about the Dvaitam, Advaitam as we go along. I'm sure many other verses will come. But Advaita itself is a negation. Na Dvaita is Advaita.
yes,
So like Shuddham and Ashuddham. It is a negation. So you don't have to again negate it and saying Na Advaita. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, shall we continue?
Someone says, no, Dvaitam Vicharena Praptam. We did a lot of Vichara and arrived at Dvaitam.
Many people say this, I can tell you. Many people will tell you, oh, I've thought about it for 6 years. Or things like that. We will see. Yeah.
If this is Vichara Praptam, I'm only sorry.
You understand the difference between what he's saying when he say Vichara Praptam? Obtained by careful thinking and analysis. And Dvaitam is what everybody experiences. Everybody says I and the rest of the non-I. You don't have to do any special Vichara for that. So he's saying, but somebody might argue, no, I have been working on it. I've done research on it for the last many years. People do say that. So what is he going to say about that? Listen to this.
If this is Vichara Praptam, I'm only sorry. Sankhya did Vichara, Vaisheshika did more Vichara, and Bauddha did a lot of Vichara. Therefore, everybody else does a lot of Vichara to arrive at Dvaita. Before Vichara, it was Praptam. After Vichara also it is Praptam, which means nothing new is Praptam. You know, Murari Prapta. This is Murarena Praptam even.
Murarina. By Murari.
Murarina Praptam even.
Eva.
That Iva. That is what Bhashyakara said. Atma Anatma Vivekinam Api Ajavi Falanam Ajavi Palanam Iva Na Viviktao Sabda Pratyayav. Without any vichara, the shepherd also knows. This is what we call avichara siddham.
Ajavi Palanam. Ajavi Pala is one who rears, protects. Aja is sheep. So Ajavi Pala, even he knows. Atma Anatma Vivekana also knows. You don't have to you don't have to be very brainy to find out that there is Dvaitam. Because it looks obvious. Yes, Divyansh, before we go back to Anantakrishnan to give us a summary.
Swamiji, here like Vichara, does it mean only contemplation or like interpreting the Vedas, etc.?
No. How do you know that there is Dvaitam? I don't have to do any study. I don't need any books. I don't need a teacher. I don't need anything. I'm born in this world and I identify myself as one, and then everything else is non-I. I don't need anything at all for that. That's why he said even Ajavi Palaha, even a shepherd who not considered a person who does any thinking at all, he doesn't have to know Dvaita. Yes, would you do a summary of what we read so far?
Basically, it talks of what Advaita Makaranda is trying to establish is to tell you that it is the basically extraction of the nectar from what do you call by removal of all other frills and other negative aspects
a bee doesn't touch any of those things. After the bee has sucked away the nectar, the flower remains exactly the same. Only thing is gone from the flower is the nectar. Like that, this book does not talk about anything else. Yeah.
Other than Advaita. And to arrive at Advaita, basically you are going to talk of Dvaita and then negate it by a process of elimination of all those what we call pramanas and which can result in creating confusion in the mind.
Correct.
Basically,
you're really, what he's saying is by doing careful thinking and analysis, any presentation of Dvaita is being negated. In the Advaita Makaranda, we'll do that. In fact, throughout the Advaita Makaranda, you will see a lot of this. Our natural instinct, normal default is Dvaita. That's how we start our life. It is default. And then from there we have to, by saying no, that is not logical, is not correct, because of this reason, that cannot be correct, and therefore Advaita is the only workable, plausible way of looking at this.
But Dvaita is existent, and everybody is something which is everybody experiences Dvaita.
Correct.
But to arrive at Advaita, negation of that is what is important.
Right. This Shatpadi is an interesting word. Many times you hear this word like Shatpadi Stotram in Devi Mahatmyams also there is but there pada means a part. As far as the bee is concerned, pada is the leg, six-legged creature. And he compares it with the 6 pramanas. See, we normally say, what are the 5 pramanas? Direct perception,
Yes.
inference, example.
Example.
So you have pratyaksha,
Anupama.
anumana, pramana,
Upamana.
Anumana,
Upamaya.
upamaya,
same thing. It's the
Arthapati.
same thing. You third is you also said upamaya as example. Yeah.
Arthapati.
Arthapatti,
Arthapatti and Anupalabdhi.
Anupalabdhi. These are the 5. Very briefly, pratyaksha is direct perception using the 5 senses. Typically, everything we know because we can see, hear, etc. That is direct perception, called pratyaksha pramana. Then we have anumana, where using these 5 senses, we observe something, or hear something, or smell something. But that is not the knowledge. From there, we conclude something else, because there is a concomitant relationship between what we observe through the pratyaksha pramana and the conclusion we draw. Now, this has to be done very carefully. Whereas, for example, the common example given in Shastra is, if you see billowing smoke on the mountain,
Right.
you see that. That is your pramana sees that, your eyes see that. But what is the conclusion? That there is fire.
Inference is fire.
Correct? Why is that? Because this connection, there can be no smoke without fire. There can be fire without smoke, but there can never be smoke without fire. This is the invariable relation. Therefore, you conclude there is fire. But many times you also draw wrong conclusions. Sometimes deliberately, sometimes unknowingly. And once we draw a wrong conclusion, we try to defend the conclusion. Very good examples for that exist. I like the example where you say you look at somebody who has, for example, a car which you've coveted. And you also want that car. You ask yourself, why do you want that car? There, what you've done is seen the car, you've seen him get up every morning, get into the car, being driven to the office. And what is the conclusion you've drawn from there? He must be happy. That's an incorrect conclusion. That the car makes him happy is the conclusion we draw. So that's an unknowing, incorrect conclusion. And therefore, we work very hard, strive very hard to gain that car, because what I want is not the car. What I'm looking for is a sense of happiness. A sense of not feeling that I am subject to sorrow. That is what I'm looking for. And without realizing, I observe something and I draw a different conclusion, which is incorrect. Sometimes we draw the conclusion, even though we know it is not correct, like the rising sun. We observe the day going by and we say the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. But we know it's not true. Sun doesn't rise or set. Sun is there. It is doing its own whatever it enjoys to do. Earth rotates, therefore you see the sun as if it is rising or setting. But we accept that. The whole world accepts it knowingly. Like that, there are many examples of drawing a conclusion from an observation, sight, sound, whatever. And many things you can even, one, people who have very sharp nose and are foodies will walk and tell you, oh, somebody's house, nice upma is getting made. They draw the conclusion, probably correct. Smell. Or if you happen to be in a block of flats with one Bengali who will cook fish in mustard oil, you have to go out for the time being. You can't stay there. So that is anumana. That also requires these five senses. Then there's upamana, which is what Jagdishan said as examples, upamana, where you are trying to give a knowledge to somebody who doesn't know that object. Swamiji gives an example of wildebeest. Many people may not have seen wildebeest, but if we tell them it's something like a buffalo, it goes in the wild and these are the differences, etc. I was thinking that a very good example is a hockey puck. Many people may not have seen the ice hockey game and they don't know what a puck is. But you can explain to them. It is like a carom striker. That's an example. It's maybe a little bigger, made of so-and-so material, so on. So you use the upamana, which he already knows, to gain knowledge of something he doesn't know. So that is the third of the five. Fourth is called arthapatti. This is often linked to more than one pratyaksha observation and together lead to a conclusion. There are many such examples, but the standard example that is used is if you've been with a person for a length of time, say 40, 50 days, every day from the morning till night till he goes to bed, and he doesn't eat anything at all. And after 40 days, you have another observation that he has not lost any weight. So you have two observations. One, he does not eat during the day when you're with him from 6 in the morning till 10 in the night or 9 in the night or whatever. And two, even after 40, 50 days, he doesn't lose any weight. These are both observations. And you have this invariable connection that if a person does not eat for 40 days, he will lose weight. So now what you've done is you've drawn this conclusion. And what is the conclusion? That he must be eating at night when I'm not there. What are the conclusions? This is arthapatti. So you have many observations or many steps of inferences to arrive at the conclusion. And anupalabdhi. Na upalabdhi. Something which is not there, which you have to only say at this time, in this place, it is not there. You can't say anything more than that. In the same place, something may be there. But at this point of time, in this place, it is not there. It's called anupalabdhi. What Swami is saying here is that all these five are necessary for us to learn and understand this, but not adequate. They are not enough. You need Shabda Pramana. And that Shabda is the Vedanta Shabda. So that has to be unfolded by a guru. There always Shankaracharya will combine Veda Vakya and Guru Upadesha together. That is what makes you sixth Pramana. And that will not happen unless those five have happened. Five are available to the seeker. So he says those all six pramanas are necessary because the first five pramanas, pratyaksha, etc., are helpful in understanding what is unfolded by the sixth pramana. So he says that you need all of them, but by those five, you cannot get this knowledge. By this alone, all five alone, you can only come to the point of saying there has to be something which I don't know. And then you start looking for the thing, in what way can I know? And that becomes your sixth pramana. Yeah, wanted to cover the last bits of this paragraph also. This Antakrishnaji.
Yes.
Meanwhile, 1 minute, there's a hand raised, Divyansh.
Swamiji, like when Swamiji said that all these fives are helpful, it is just that to understand that the self is not in the scope of all these five pramanas, so we
Correct.
need.
Correct. That by these are paranchikani.
Right. Okay.
They will not be able to, but they are necessary. Hearing, of course, is necessary if you want to do Shravanam. You can't do any Shravanam without hearing. And all the others also even to negate the wrong conclusions, you need all of them.
But don't we say that the Shabda Pramana is self-sufficient to give
No,
this?
no. How can self be by itself be enough? If a person is deaf and Shabda Pramana has to be gone by Shravana, Manana, and Nidhyasana, how will you do Shravanam? Very first step, which is the basic Angi, that itself is not happening.
No, just take Pratyaksha Pramana and this Shabda
No,
Pramana.
everything is required because all of these together give you an opportunity to do vichara. These are all data collectors. And your buddhi comes into play. You do vichara on all of them. A simple thing I'll tell you. If you today the conclusion is that this sharira is I. This is the conclusion we all work on. Now, little bit of some of these, if not all of them, you use to arrive at the fact that I cannot be any of this sharira. It cannot be the physical body. It cannot be the mind. It cannot be the thoughts. It cannot, because many ways of doing it. One of the easiest ways of doing it is saying that I has to be unchanging. I am not the sharira, because sharira keeps on changing. In fact, every cell in the body changes. New cells are coming up all the time. Mind changes, thoughts change, feelings change, ideas change, everything changes. And if it changes, that cannot be I. I cannot have an I which is correct in this instant, next instant I have a different I, and then I have a different I. That doesn't sound logical at all. So how do you arrive at these things is because you apply the data you collect from these various five pramanas.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Mahavakya, I'm Brahman, is non-dual. That is very clear to all of us. But all the same, this can only be proved when we negate the duality by our by circumstances and other use of knowledge. So, but Dvaitam is actually it's a school of thought where they say Dvaitam is existence already. So that has to be negated to ensure that we all understand
That
that
is existent in the sense that you don't have to do any vichara to
we don't have
arrive
to
at
do
it.
any
You're
vichara.
born with it.
But the fact that it has to be negated forces you to analyze that and ensure that it is Advaitam is accepted.
And we are the
By all.
only species which has been given this facility to examine, analyze, and say, no, there's something wrong here. No other species has that. Yes, Padmashri.
Swamiji, like just now you said, I wanted to add something that how we can negate and make sure that what we think I is not our body. Like we can give an example, like we use chair for sitting, pencil for writing. Same way we are making use parts of the body like hand we are using legs for walking. Similarly, mind is used for thinking. So what we are using cannot be I. Like we are sitting on the table or we are sitting on a chair, so we are making use of it. So it is not we who are the chair. So similarly, we are using the hand. So how can I be the hand? I am using the mind to think. So how I can be the mind? I'm using the intellect. How I can be the intellect? So with that we can go on negating, and till we come to the last part where we cannot do any kind of further negation. So I think this
Correct.
is the way.
This is said in the way of saying that anything which is mine cannot be I. Like you said, this is my pencil. I use it to write. So whose pencil and who uses it to write is what we have to examine. Yeah. Anybody else has any observation?
Swamiji, I have just one
Yeah, go ahead.
little question.
I would like others also to put in their 2 bits of thinking into this. But at least, if not originally, at least on the basis of what Divyansh is asking, please put in your 2 bits. Yes, Divyansh, please go ahead.
like Swamiji said that Dvaitam is like obvious to everyone, and if someone has done like vichara uh, on this, and like it is no use, but like shouldn't we give like some concession to a Dvait Vedanta people, because they are talking about the Ishvara. They are saying that okay, the Rama is there and we study from the scriptures, like the abode of Rama is like this, we have to go there, something like that. So it's not like simply materialistic thing with
Sure.
them, right?
You're right. You're right. Advaita never throws away Dvaita. It negates Dvaita. But it negates Dvaita after knowledge.
Hmm.
Advaita cannot be reached without going through Dvaita. But here Swamiji is using some strong words to say that all Dvaita can be negated. It's true, all Dvaita can be negated. But negated by what? By knowledge only. And how will the knowledge come? That knowledge has to come with several factors must come into that. One, vichara, extremely important. If I don't do vichara, I'm not going. If I don't go seeking that, I'm not going to get it. Very clear. Two, I must be ready. This is not vichara which I can, even for many things in this world, we have to do a lot of preparation to understand. And this is knowledge for which a lot of preparation in terms of adhikaritvam is required. So that is also required. Till that all this happens, Dvaitam has to be there. And the third thing that happens is that I have a lot of obstacles in the way. Adhyatmika obstacles, which has to do with me. Adi bhautika obstacles, which has to do with other beings. Adi daivika obstacles, which are inexplicable obstacles, all of which we want to try and get rid of. For all of these, we need Ishvara's grace. And the moment I say Ishvara's grace, I and Ishvara are different. So I seek Ishvara's grace, or for all these steps, eventually come to the stage where I can understand that Ishvara and I are the same. Pure knowledge. So at no point are we throwing away Dvaitam. At no point are we throwing away Ishvara till the point of Jnanam. If that happens, then you can ask the question, why ask me to pray to Ishvara? Who is to pray to whom? Because I am Ishvara. Then you can ask that question validly. But if you understand that, if you go and tell the fellow who is striving and say, no, you don't have to pray, you're going to create problems. You will never get it then. That's why Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, people who do these things, please allow them to do that. Don't go and tell them karma is not going to give you moksha. You will create problems for them. So we are not, when we talk about Advaita as the ultimate knowledge, to get that knowledge, we start with Advaita only. And in all of these schools of thought, except perhaps the ones who say there is no God, there is no rebirth, there is no incarnation, except for that kind of philosophy, everybody says pray. Pray to whoever you want to pray. Pray to a power which is bigger than you, which is more powerful than you, more knowledgeable than you. Seek that blessing. All of the philosophies do that. So if you have to discuss with somebody who is a strong Dvaitin, you don't have to convince him to be an Advaitin. Let him go and pray. Sooner or later, the prayer will help him. In fact, I think further on will come, Swamiji has a very beautiful story to explain why Dvaitam is avichara siddham. It is not something which you have to do a lot of thinking and analysis to arrive at the fact that there is Dvaitam. You're born with it. And therefore, you saw that even Bhashyakara says, Atmanatma vivakinam api ajabi palanam iva na viviktau shabda pratyayau. Everybody knows. I think the next Murari story is coming because he mentioned Murari here somewhere in this paragraph. I saw that.
Before that.
Before Vichara, also it was Praptam. After Vichara, also it is Praptam. Why is it saying after Vichara is Praptam? Because this guy says it is the duality only, even after Vichara. I did Vichara for the research for 6 years, it's still Dvaitam. But you knew that before your research. Why do you waste your 6 years? You don't need to do that. So he said, Murari Prapta. That is the story he's going to relate that's a very interesting story. To say the same thing, there's one line that is given, Ajabi Palanam Iva. But to explain that, the story is coming up. Somebody else can read that, or would you like to continue?
I'll continue.
Yeah.
I used to tell this story, my Murari story. All of you should know. I cannot proceed without the story because that story is very important for me. Then afterwards, I can refer to Murari and forget about it. Some of these stories are part of my teaching. This story is one of them. I have many such stories. If I tell one sentence, then they will understand what it is. There was a great Vedanta teacher, a Swami, who lived in a village. He used to conduct classes. As a young man, this person went there when the Swami was teaching Vedanta. And the subject matter was Jiveshwara Aikyam. Jiva is Ishvara. When Swami said Jiva is Ishvara, this person felt very bad, was very disturbed. He did not have Shraddha, the patience to stay with the teaching and go with it all the way. He was upset and had this thought, how can I be equated with Ishvara? Where is Ishvara? All knowing, and where am I? Small knowing. How can I be Ishvara? This made him restless. So he went to another teacher living in the same village. This other teacher happened to be one who says, Jiva is Jiva, Ishvara is Ishvara, Jagat is Jagat. Among them, the difference is irreconcilable. Between Jiva and Jiva, there is difference. Between Jiva and Ishvara, there is difference. Between Jiva and Jagat, there is difference. Between sentient, insentient, Chetna and Achetna, there is a difference. These differences are real, he said to this person. Thank God it is Narayana's grace that you escaped from that Swami. Narayana helped you to come to me. You have lot of grace, so now you should study. So this person agreed and studied with his teacher for 12 years. After 12 years, he is very well informed. This person was a learned man now. He wanted to have a vada, an argument with the Swami who told him Jiva is Ishvara, so he can defeat him. So he decided to meet the Swami. This Swami had not shaved his beard and jata for 25 years and had decided to get rid of his matted hair and beard. He had asked Murari to come. Murari is the name of the local barber. Murari is also a name of the Lord. Murari was sitting there in the open courtyard and getting ready for his work when this person came and asked the Swami for a Vada Bhiksha. Vada Bhiksha. When one asks for
Vada Bhiksha is correct. Vada Bhiksha.
Vada Bhiksha, when one asks for a discussion, the convention is you are supposed to grant it. The Swami agreed. He said, okay, I will discuss with you in a little while. I had asked Murari to come. He has come. Let him finish this job. Then I will take a bath and come. After that, I will talk with you. You please come back after some time. This person said, I will wait here itself. He was sitting there waiting. Murari completed the shaving and held out a mirror. Swami saw himself in the mirror and exclaimed, Murari, you are not ordinary. You are Lord Murari. With a few strokes, you made me 20 years younger. So much brilliance you have given me. You are not ordinary, you are Lord Narayana. And touched his feet. Poor Murari comes from a culture where a Mahatma is to be saluted and a Swami, a Mahatma, should not salute him. It is a big Papa and he is very afraid of Papa. He protested, no, I am the barber Murari, I am not Lord Murari. Don't you know I am the village barber Murari? The Swami said, no, you are too humble, and did a few more namaskaras to Murari. This person who wanted a discussion with the Swami was sitting there watching all this. The barber Murari was very afraid of this Papa and pleaded with him, Sir, could you please tell the Swami that I am the local barber Murari and not the Lord? The man said to the Swami, don't you see that he is our village barber Murari, he is not Lord Murari. The Swami said, oh, is that so? And then went for a bath. Poor Murari was so frightened, he quickly packed up everything and left. When the Swami came after the bath, he found the person who had been waiting for Vada Bhiksha was also not there. After a few minutes, the person came back. But this time, he came with a plate full of fruits and some flowers and placed all this along with some aswatha twigs, Samita Pani, in front of the Swami. Samit Pani, in front of the Swami, prostrated and reverently requested the Swami, Sir, please teach me Hadi Bhagavo
Adihi Bhagavo
Adihi
Brahmeti.
Adihi
Teach me about
Bhagavo
Brahman.
Brahmeti. Why this change? He came here for a vada, an argument, to defeat the Swami, and the same person comes back and without having a vada, falls at his feet and requests the Swami to teach. What brought about this change of heart? It is simple. Murari never went to school, not even for shelter on a rainy day. He has never gone to any Veda teacher. He has no education, but he is afraid of Papa. He knows of the Lord Murari and he knows that he himself is not the Lord. He is so sure that he is not the Lord, though he never went to school. I studied 12 years and what do I know? The same thing Murari's conviction, and the same thing. Murari's conviction is as strong as mine. And for this, I studied Vedanta. What is the use of this Veda that I studied? If there is non-difference between Jiva and Ishvara, which is not obvious, that should be the subject matter of the Veda. Anything else cannot be the subject matter and should not be even considered for a subject matter. That is a subject matter which makes all the difference, because the discovery will be that I am the whole, the oneness. The person realized this and he asked Swami for the teaching.
Hmm.
Without any vichara, Murari also knows. When I say Murari, that is Upalakshana for everybody. That is why Murari. I am maintaining that name. So when you hear Murari, you know exactly what is Murari logic, the whole story. Here, this is a Murari situation after the vichara also. The wrong conclusions continue. If you conclude the same thing after vichara, then vichara has only confirmed it. If Dvaitam is asatyam, then there is no moksha, because you are different from everything else. There is no moksha. Because you are different from everything else, there is no moksha. Moksha is a pipe dream. There is no moksha because the individual cannot give up his individuality, because individuality is satyam. Atma's separation from everything else is satyam. That is called individuality. Atma has the attribute of individuality intrinsically. So Atma is different, Vinna Atma. One is different from the other. Therefore, the limitations, etc., are always going to be there. Therefore, there is no moksha, anirmoksha prasangaha. That is the implication of if Dvaitam is Satyam. Even if you say God will give me moksha, what will he give you? Will he take away your individuality or keep that individuality? If the individuality is retained, you will want more, because the love is for the freedom from limitation, for the infinite. Therefore, there is no way of this individual gaining moksha. If individuality is satyam, the individual cannot gain moksha. So for moksha, there is only one possibility. The individual does not have individuality intrinsically. If it is not intrinsic to the Atma, it is superimposed upon the Atma. If it is superimposed upon the Atma, it is Mithya Pratyaya. Then there is Advaita Siddhi already. Means Advaita is already a fact and only needs to be recognized.
We'll stop here. Please think about the story. It is a beautiful story and illustrates many of the things that we were discussing earlier about Dvaitam and Advaitam, any form of Dvaitam. And we'll open it for discussion in the next class. So I want all of you to think about it. If you need to reread the story, please reread the story. I'd like everybody to participate in the discussion on this Murari story. In his usual inimitable style, when he was teaching in the class, he made the whole thing so dramatic. I can still visualize Swamiji being completely dramatizing the whole thing. But it is something that makes you think. So I want all of you to think about it, and we will, in the next class, open it for discussion. The next class itself will not be on Wednesday. I'm traveling. So next class will be next Monday only. So we have a lot of time to do a lot of vichara. So please do all the vichara, and we will discuss this in the next class. Om Purnamad Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Om Swamiji.
Om Swamiji. Om
Swamiji.
Swamiji.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಪುನರ್ಮಿಲಾಮ್.
Namaskar.